All right, the Prime Minister today in Lok Sabha went all guns blazing against the Congress in Parliament. This, viewers, was his final speech this tenure from the Treasury benches, and he made a meal of it. Spoke for over 1 hour, 45 minutes. He started his speech by taunting the opposition for their resolution to stay on opposition benches. After that, without naming anyone, the Prime Minister went on to mount his biggest attack on Rahul Gandhi. Without naming him, on multiple occasions, the Prime Minister attacked Rahul Gandhi and the Congress on Parivarwad, on launching the same product, possibly hinting to Rahul Gandhi again and again, stating in this dukan only one product is available. The Prime Minister even then blamed the Congress for disorganization within the India bloc, alleging that the party is responsible for the poor state of opposition in the country, saying that the Congress is not allowing other opposition parties to get ahead. But he didn't just quite stop there. The Prime Minister highlighted work of his own government, claiming that the Congress would take 100 years to do what they did in 10 years. Was his one of his fiercest speeches ever, where he took on Nehru, he went on to attack Indira Gandhi, he went on to attack Rahul Gandhi on multiple occasions, and of course holding no prisoners when it came down to the India alliance. Listen into these excerpts.
आज विपक्ष की जो हालत होगी ना, इसकी सबसे दोषी कांग्रेस पार्टी है। कांग्रेस को एक अच्छा विपक्ष बनने का बहुत बड़ा अवसर मिला, और 10 साल कम नहीं होते, लेकिन 10 साल में उस दायित्व को निभाने में भी वे पूरी तरह विफल गए। और जब खुद विफल हो गए तो विपक्ष में और भी होनहार लोग हैं, उनको भी उभरने नहीं दिया, क्योंकि फिर मामला और गड़बड़ हो जाए। इसलिए हर बार यही करते रहे कि और भी विपक्षी जो तेजस्वी लोग हैं उनको दबा दिया जाए। हाउस में कई यंग हमारे माननीय सांसदगण हैं, उत्साह भी उमंग भी है, लेकिन अगर वो बोलें, उनकी छवि उभर जाए, तो शायद किसी की छवि बहुत दब जाए। उस चिंता में इस यंग जनरेशन को मौका न मिले, हाउस को ही चलने नहीं दिए गए। यानी एक प्रकार से इतना बड़ा नुकसान कर दिया है, खुद का भी, विपक्ष का भी, संसद का भी और देश का भी। और इसलिए, और मैं हमेशा चाहता हूं कि देश को एक स्वस्थ अच्छे विपक्ष की बहुत जरूरत है। आज विपक्ष की जो हालत होगी ना, इसकी सबसे दोषी कांग्रेस पार्टी है। कांग्रेस को एक अच्छा विपक्ष बनने का बहुत बड़ा अवसर मिला, और 10 साल कम नहीं होते, लेकिन 10 साल में उस दायित्व को निभाने में भी वे पूरी तरह विफल गए। और जब खुद विफल हो गए तो विपक्ष में और भी होनहार लोग हैं, उनको भी उभरने नहीं दिया, क्योंकि फिर मामला और गड़बड़ हो जाए। इसलिए हर बार यही करते रहे कि और भी विपक्षी जो तेजस्वी लोग हैं उनको दबा दिया जाए। हाउस में कई यंग हमारे माननीय सांसदगण हैं, उत्साह भी उमंग भी है, लेकिन अगर वो बोलें, उनकी छवि उभर जाए, तो शायद किसी की छवि बहुत दब जाए। उस चिंता में इस यंग जनरेशन को मौका न मिले, हाउस को ही चलने नहीं दिए गए। यानी एक प्रकार से इतना बड़ा नुकसान कर दिया है, खुद का भी, विपक्ष का भी, संसद का भी और देश का भी। कांग्रेस में एक कैंसिल कल्चर डेवलप हुआ है। कुछ भी है कैंसिल, कुछ भी है कैंसिल। ये एक ऐसे कैंसिल कल्चर में कांग्रेस फंस गई है। अगर हम कहते हैं मेक इन इंडिया, तो कांग्रेस कहती है कैंसिल। हम कहते हैं आत्मनिर्भर भारत, कांग्रेस कहती है कैंसिल। हम कहते हैं वोकल फॉर लोकल, कांग्रेस कहती है कैंसिल। हम कहते हैं वंदे भारत ट्रेन, कांग्रेस कहती है कैंसिल। हम कहते हैं संसद की नई इमारत, कांग्रेस कहती है कैंसिल। यानी मैं हैरान हूं, ये कोई मोदी की उपलब्धियां नहीं है, देश की उपलब्धियां है। इतनी नफरत कब तक पाले रखोगे? और उसके कारण देश की सफलताएं, देश के अचीवमेंट, उसको भी कैंसिल करके आप बैठ गए। आदरणीय अध्यक्ष जी, भाजपा सरकार की काम करने की स्पीड, हमारे लक्ष्य कितने बड़े होते हैं, हमारा हौसला कितना बड़ा होता है, वो आज पूरी दुनिया देख रही है। और आदरणीय अध्यक्ष जी, एक कहावत है हमारे उत्तर प्रदेश में, खास ये कहावत कही जाती है, 9 दिन चले 2.5 कोस। और मुझे लगता है कि ये कहावत पूरी तरह कांग्रेस को परिभाषित कर देती है। ये कांग्रेस की सुस्त रफ्तार, कांग्रेस की सुस्त रफ्तार का कोई मुकाबला नहीं। आज देश में जिस रफ्तार से काम हो रहा है, कांग्रेस सरकार इस रफ्तार की कल्पना भी नहीं कर सकती।
All right, the Prime Minister setting the tone for Lok Sabha 2024. Let's quickly cut across to Moshmi, my colleague, joining us right outside Parliament, joining me in the studio, consulting editor Rajdeep Sardesai. We'll also be joined by Sanjay Singh, consulting editor, and Rashid Kidwai, political analyst. Let's cut across to Moshmi first. Moshmi, break it down for us. What were the reactions opposite the Treasury benches? Prime Minister's big assault in his final speech this tenure from the Treasury benches.
Preeti, it was a very attacking speech, and we could hear some jeering and some condemnation from the opposition benches. But with the absence of Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi present, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in fact, showcased the Congress party as a hopeless party without a vision, its own cadre and leaders looking for the Lok Sabha route, many of them not even wanting to contest elections. Also went on to elaborate about how family politics had destroyed not only the hopes of millions of the countrymen and women, but also of the Congress, devastated the Congress party, and the likes of Kharge and Azad were actually, their careers were destroyed. So, and even talking about the fact that how relaunch of Rahul Gandhi, the party was obsessed with that. It was how it was running, a party was in slow motion with several schemes, if it was for UPA, would have been implemented in decades or more than 60 years. So ideally, the Congress party, we would have heard a lot of commotion, a lot of noise, but it was left to Adhir Ranjan Choudhry, sometimes to Gaurav Gogoi, to actually hit back. And the fact that Prime Minister Narendra Modi yet again, in I think one of the most attacking speeches, a very election speech, attacked the internal core of the Congress party, that is the dynastic politics, talking about Nehru, talking about Indira Gandhi, and how they really didn't believe in the idea of India and didn't have confidence and had a very demeaning attitude towards the Indian citizens. And therefore, the Congress party had very little to hit back.
Well, maybe interesting, the Congress really doesn't have much bench strength where the Lok Sabha is concerned in any case, and definitely not very, good speakers on that account. But having said that, Moshmi, stay with me. Let's bring in our guest this evening, Rajdeep Sardesai. There was nothing else expected from this speech. It had to be an out-and-out election speech. His final speech this term in Parliament, taking on Nehru, taking on Indira Gandhi, multiple times, taking on Rahul Gandhi as well.
I saw your slug saying fiercest attack of Prime Minister Modi since 2014. The fact is, every attack of his, go through all his speeches in Parliament, have been an attack on the opposition. That's a familiar trope. And let me tell you what the trope is. Parivarvad equals Gandhis, corruption equals Congress, Viksit Bharat equals Modi, and Namdar versus Kamdar. Now, we've heard this before. He was just a little bit more aggressive about it. It was classical populist demagoguery for which Mr. Modi is very practiced, where he claims in a way to stand for the people, the citizens, versus the old elite represented by the Congress. He reflects upon his achievements, but places them in contrast to a pre-India of 2014. Almost as if India was an area of darkness before 2014, that there was Mehengai, there was Garibi, and all of that is changing after 2014. Interestingly, names Nehru about a dozen times, names Indira a couple of times. You're right. In the past, he's never really targeted Indira Gandhi. This time, even Indira Gandhi was drawn in. But the Nehru obsession in particular is alive, well and truly kicking. When you look at Nehru's speeches from Red Fort in 1949-50, India was in a very different place. But Mr. Modi wants to juxtapose himself in a way and contrast himself to Prime Minister Modi. I thought, Preeti, his analysis of the Congress was very interesting. If I was an edit page writer, I'd say Mr. Modi could write a good editorial on the Congress party, because he's right. When he suggests it revolves around a Shahi Parivar, when it's seen to be entitled, lazy, slow motion, I think all these criticisms have been made by the Congress by many of us, and Mr. Modi is echoing them. What is interesting is he stayed away from attacking regional parties. So when the Prime Minister speaks about 370 seats for the BJP, 400 for the allies, he's effectively also wooing, I think, some of the regional parties or some of the floating parties who could be part of a post-poll NDA coalition. So you're right, it's an election speech, but it's a speech that also seeks to define what the personality cult of Prime Minister Modi represents, a sense of this muscular nationalism that has defined Prime Minister Modi over the last decade.
You know, Sanjay Singh, I want to bring you in, holding no prisoners at all, attacking the Gandhis in particular. But one thing was made very clear. He steered clear, other than just once, talking about how, you know, this India alliance is not really coming in together. Other than that, he focused his attack clearly on the Congress party and not so much on the India alliance.
See, the politics is bipolar as it is. The BJP leads one poll and Congress leads another poll. BJP knows that Congress is down and Rahul Gandhi's Nyaya Yatra is not gathering any traction. In fact, India alliance is kind of withering away. As it is, Congress is, there are a whole lot of other problems in Congress. But Congress is one party where you'll find a Congress worker in every nook and corner across the country. And the Congress has the potential, as he says, for next few decades, you are going to sit there. But who after those next few decades, if at all we are, hypothetically, we are going to believe that next few decades are going to be difficult for Congress. Now that psyche to break Congress, to talk about Nehru, to talk about, because Nehru and Indira Gandhi are revered figure. So till such time you attack at the very foundation and also the current leadership, that is of Rahul Gandhi, motor mechanic भी आजकल हो गए हैं, but their own alignment, despite learning motor mechanics role, the own alignment is faulty. Rahul Gandhi had gone to Karol Bagh to a bullet bike store, to bullet mechanic store, and therefore he had also gone to Carpenter's Place.
Multiple attacks on Rahul Gandhi, but not naming Rahul Gandhi. He's never really named Rahul Gandhi, but he's taken many a jibes at him on many a speeches before. But having said that, you know, bringing you in, Rashid Kidwai, in all of this, Rashid Kidwai, you know, what's a little, you know, bewildering in all of this is the kind of speeches made by the Congress on the floor of the House. You have an Adhiranjan Choudhry who's still going on like a broken record on Balakot and trying to talk about how Balakot never happened.
Absolutely. I think, Preeti, in terms of propriety, just as Prime Minister, you know, should have referred to, I mean, he's referred to, but his speech was on the motion of thanks. And of course, he made, as Rajdeep was saying, he made a very fabulous, I would say, a powerful political speech. Mr. Rahul Gandhi, who's a member of Parliament of Lok Sabha, he should have been present. If he had not spoken, he would have been far more effective than his Bharat Jodo Yatra. I think the Prime Minister has made a very, a strong pitch for anti-Parivarvad, but his formulation is a bit problematic, because if somebody is a son or daughter of a prominent politician, then that person is considered, first among equals. You cannot say, you look at the Congress party. Congress has a Dalit, Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge. What happens behind the scene is altogether different. Somebody can say the same thing about Mr. JP Nadda also, because Mr. Modi's credibility is very high. Unki saakh hai. So whatever he says, it sticks. And the Congress is itself to be blamed, because Congress, good orators who are there in the Lok Sabha, they don't speak, or they're not allowed to speak. I don't know. There is so much of this Shashi Tharoor, there is Manish Tiwari, there is, of course, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, who should have led from the front.
Shashi Tharoor, Manish Tiwari, and they never end up speaking. And when Adhir Ranjan speaks, for 15 minutes of his speech, he speaks of Balakot when you've already lost an election on Balakot. So Rajdeep, I want to bring you in all of this. Here the Prime Minister is taking on the Congress, putting it on the mat, and on the other hand, you have people like Adhir Ranjan Choudhry who are still trying to justify Balakot never happened after having lost 2019 to Balakot.
Look, I've said this on countless occasions. The Congress party has never missed an opportunity to miss an opportunity in the last decade. And appointing a leader of the Lok Sabha was one of them. Ideally, if Rahul Gandhi wanted to take on Prime Minister Modi, he should have been the leader of the Lok Sabha. And if he was not, he should have had a very effective speaker like a Shashi Tharoor or a Manish Tiwari, Manish being bilingual, to perhaps be in that post. You choose an Adhir Ranjan Choudhary who has other skills, but those skills do not include his parliamentary performance. Look, at the moment, it's a no contest. It's a no contest for the simple reason, and that's why I said the Prime Minister has understood the Congress very well. It is a party which is entitled. It is a party where a number of its leaders have looked for the Rajya Sabha route to get into Parliament. It's a party that's been lazy. In last 10 years, the Congress has made no attempt to revive itself, even though they've had opportunities where they could have put the government on the mat. So I think the Prime Minister, in a way, is using the Congress to target the entire opposition, because he knows the Congress is the Kamzor Kadi.
But is he targeting the entire opposition, Rajdeep? Because Sanjay Singh, I'll bring you in on this, and maybe you go first, Rajdeep. The fact is, he's trying to build this as a contest between the BJP and the Congress.
That's right.
It's not a contest between the BJP and the India Alliance.
That's right. That's what you see, he's using the Congress to, in a way, pitch the battle as BJP versus Congress, or in his case, Namdar versus Kamdar. It worked in 2014, it worked in 2019, and thereby, in a way, also bring in the rest of the opposition, such as it is at the moment. When he said, for example, a number of them have enforcement directorate cases, we will go after them. He's signaling to them that, look, I have you on the mat, and I'm going to use this election in a way to completely decimate the opposition. There are those, though, who I call the floaters, who he may wish to attract. They could be individuals, they could be parties, post-poll. So you bring yourself to 400. Look, this is a Prime Minister who's convinced of his own invincibility, and therefore, the speech reflected that sense of confidence that he has that 2024 is a done deal.
Well, Sanjay Singh, final comment there. There seems to be now a clear understanding, crystal clear understanding, that this is going to be built, at least, optics-wise, as a contest between the Congress and the BJP, which suits the Bharatiya Janata Party, to take on Rahul Gandhi over and over again, leading, this charge in 2024.
Yeah, the common perception is Rahul Gandhi is biggest campaigner for the BJP. That thing, of course, goes. But his speech, him not referring to the other regional parties, except once when he said that Adhir Ranjan ji jahan se aate hain, from the place where he comes, you have seen bags of currency notes out there. But then there is an effort on their part, on part of BJP, to deal with regional parties in different states. Even if they are political opponents, they are trying to win them away so that the hostility of some political parties are minimized, or at least that hostility is minimized. And if at all Mr. Modi is moving to the third term, and if he can deliver on the ground, with what he called in his first term as cooperative federalism, and if that part can make some movement in that direction, that would be a huge thing to Modi's credit. Also, during the elections, it is you pick somebody. Congress is aligned with, say, in the Tamil Nadu.
I just want to take a quick comment by Rashid Kidwai, and we're going to end this. We're going to end this this bulletin there. But Rashid Kidwai, I want to pull you in on this. Also interesting in all of this is, yes, he's attacked the Gandhis, one by one, taking on everyone. Usually he hasn't gone behind Indira Gandhi, but he has this time around. But away from all of that, he's also taking on what the Congress is building as its own narrative this election. When it comes down to the OBC vote, multiple occasions he has taken on the Congress in this very speech.
Yes, I think Preeti, somewhere he views the other regional parties, and some of them have been the BJP's former allies, and some of them are potential allies. So, and some of them do not, like parties like Aam Aadmi Party and all, do not have that kind of political baggage that Congress has. Remember, if there is a contest, I mean,
Right.
I agree with Rajiv that 2024 doesn't look like much of a contest, but people have a choice that people will go to Congress, but they look up to Congress, and therefore Mr. Modi just wants to demolish. He doesn't want to give them any chance of Congress even crossing 100 seats or given to him even 50 seats. So that is his line of attack, and the Congress has itself to blame because the social justice plan, there is a big mismatch between what the leader thinks, that being Rahul Gandhi, and what the cadres or other leaders are thinking. So there is no seamless, there is no synergy, there is no alignment on that count. So therefore Mr. Modi is getting away. As I said, his credibility is very high and his opponents are very weak, and there's very disjointed.
All right, I appreciate all three gentlemen for joining us.